Hello, it's Phillip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers, and I'm looking at a book from Law Society Publishing. It's written by Stuart Cakebread and it's called Drafting Commercial Agreements. It's only a small book, 260 pages. Got a CD at the back. It's in the drafting series, and there's a useful index, and there's a lot of stuff on precedents, all of which you will very much need if you're involved in this area. What struck me about this book was, because it's actually a small book, it fits a very nice little market, which I'll talk about in a minute. My wife Elizabeth and I have written a review of this, which is on Flickr and all websites. The book itself is very much part of the structure of the Law Society books. Got paragraph numbers at the sides, and then you've got the precedents. There's a touching reference in the preface to Mr. Cakebread's son Edward, to whom this book is dedicated, as obviously in his memory, and that's a touching memory point, which I thought was very interesting. The book itself is an important book, and one that I think will assist everybody. We've given it the title, For the Smaller Practice, a simple, concise, time-saving guide for contracts draftsmen, with accompanying CD ROM, and that's exactly what it is. It's a new publication from Law Society Publishing and aimed squarely at a niche readership, i.e. the practitioner in a general commercial practice, which is basically the backbone of the legal profession, said the author, probably a provincial practice or on a high street or in London's West End, for instance. While not intended as a book on either commercial or contract law, Drafting Commercial Agreements nonetheless aims to steer you, the busy practitioner, through and around the most common pitfalls that lurk at the heart of what you do. Advice and tips aplenty are offered on what should be borne in mind when drafting any commercial contract. Obviously, I can recall doing this sort of thing when I was at bar school, and this sort of book wasn't available then, but it certainly gives you a lot of hints about what to do in practice. It's the range of flexible and adaptable precedents contained in the practical volume itself, which is designed to help you draw up agreements quickly and easily, which I think is the greatest point. The CD, of course, is great to help you with that. It's divided logically into 3 parts and examines the basic rules of structure and construction of a commercial contract in Part 1, whilst Part 2 deals with common commercial clauses, and Part 3 comments on a broad range of commercial agreements, from agency to buying and selling businesses, e-commerce, franchising, etc. So you've got a very wide range covered. As I say, it's a small book, but what Mr. Cakebread has done is produce something that I think is eminently helpful for the busy practitioner. As to be expected, a commentary is included for each chapter, although the author's quick to point out that there is no substitute for consulting a specialist volume on matters of complexity, which of course we would automatically do, and adds that the use of precedents, time-saving though they are, should be based upon a firm grasp of the underlying principles and law, which may one day inform a court having to decide the competing merits of 2 parties who no longer see eye to eye, if they ever did. That's an important factor to bear in mind, where clearly the dispute is just not going to be able to be resolved without contentious litigation. So let me conclude by saying that here at last then is a book, guidebook actually really, aimed specifically at draftsmen, all of whom, no matter what the size of the practice, bear the responsibility of getting every aspect of the contract right and are eternally at pains to avoid error. If this is you, you need this book, very definitely, for the smaller practice. So thank you very much to Stuart Cakebread and also to Law Society Publishing. Bye-bye.